Hey everyone, I thought I would review a second game tonight. If you've watched my first video between two 5Ks, get ready for a game between two 4Ks. Just like in the last game, I actually know one of the players. In this case, I know the player playing black. He's my friend Bart, and he's what you might call a squirmer, or at least that's what we call him. And what we mean by this is that he likes to throw these junky stones on the board and then kind of ignore them for a while until they get really badly injured, at which point he tries to squirm them to safety. And sometimes this goes well enough that the squirming process just destroys all of his opponent's territory in the process, or it goes horribly, horribly wrong and all the squirming leads to basically large-scale death. Needless to say, most of his games aren't that close based on his strategy. But in this game, he keeps his squirming to a minimum. There's only one group that he starts squirming pretty frivolously, which I think does hurt him immensely. This is one of his closer games. I mean, the victor still won by over 20 points, but that's pretty close. So let's try to enjoy the game. So black opens with a traditional 4-4 opening. Very nice. Common looking for outward influence. White responds in kind. Black does the same, and so does white. So far, both of these players have made no mistakes. They're playing 9 Dawn level moves. They are just, can't say anything bad about them whatsoever. These are just the most typical, most classic opening pattern that we have in Go. Black takes to approach. White responds here. This was a lot more normal several years back. Now it's a little more normal for white to actually play here. I'm not saying that this isn't playable, but just modern style of Go is for white to play here. And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that there is a common Joseki that used to be played like this, is what it used to look like. However, today in modern Go, often when black comes in the corner, white will actually do something severe. And when you play a white low stone over here, this helps make a base for these stones. So white can play a really severe, strong move like this. Whereas if white does this, now these two stones are floating. So when white tries to attack on this side, I know this move looks really funny. It's a really modern invention. I mean, within the last 10 years is basically all we've had to explore it. These two stones are floating, so if black gets strong over here, black can take away the base underneath these two stones. So it's a small difference, but it is a normal one, at least in modern Go. So anyway, this isn't a bad move. It's just a little, almost I would say, old-fashioned. Oops, I skipped a move. Hold on. There we go. So all in all, though, however, both these players are playing just fine moves. This is a very simple, very common Joseki. 4-4, approach, jump away, and then make a 5-space extension with the cornerstone. In Go, we see 5-space extensions a lot. And the reason is because in Go, it's very easy. Whoops, hey, what was that? There we go. It's very easy. I'm going to draw it over here to make a base. If you have a stone here and a stone here, oh dear, my drawing tools are not as cool as I thought they were. If I have 2 stones 2 spaces apart in the third line, I can make some eyes. If, on the other hand, I have a 5-space extension, well, you can see that if my opponent wants to invade, my opponent's next move wants to be 2 stones away. So if I play over here, my opponent wants to put a stone that's 2 stones away from this stone in order to make a base. And that doesn't work so well because I already have a stone there. So in Go, we often see 5-space extensions because it makes invasions hard on our opponents. Whereas if you look at this giant extension, it's very easy for white to come in here. And if black attacks this way, white makes a base this way. This is very normal. They've been doing this style, they've been playing this way for at least 2,000 years, sort of this idea of 2-space extensions being really nice, making of bases in Go. So anyway, white responds in kind by approaching black's corner. And in this case, black pincers. This is the first move that's just, we'll say, wrong. Normal moves for black here will be something like this. We can play a tight pincer, put a lot of pressure on this stone right here. We can play just like white did. We can play the low variation, where we just sort of jump away and make some points, make some pie over here. Let white get this. We'll take this. Everything's happy. We could play this. It'd be a little strange in this situation, but we could attach directly and try to build up influence right here. If we were really greedy for profit, we could even do this, the Susobaro, the foot sweep. But that's maybe we could play that and do a lighter high pincer and just try to play for something in the middle, since we have all these high stones over here. Again, that's a little more, I guess it's okay. But what black does is, instead of doing a high pincer, it does a 2-space low pincer. This is really only played when black has support on the lower left. And in this position, it's actually quite a bad move. And we're going to see why, because white takes advantage of it, at least at first. We'll leave some defects in black's shape. So let's see what white does. White jumps into the corner. This is normal. Now what black should do here is cut these 2 stones off. Just play out this Joseki and come over here and play some move like this. Now the reason why this 2-space is low is later on, do you see this white stone right here? This white stone actually has a lot of running room, and we can really annoy black with it. I'm not sure what black should do here, but it looks bad, right? If we respond over here, white can link up underneath, and now we've made headway into black's territory. If black tries to do this, well, we can Atari here. Black will have to Atari back and connect up or do something and let white basically capture our stone in the middle of our influence. So both of these we don't like. This stone is just a little too far away. It's kind of a liability in this position. We will see it in other positions. So even though that's not optimal, black does something even worse. So this was a questionable move. The next move is exceptionally bad. This is the wrong direction to play entirely. So what black is trying to do with this move is make a wall right here. Let me get out my little pen. Oh, I almost had it. There we go, that one. Black wants to make a wall right here and just seal white in against this corner and just get all this nice influence this way and maybe make something really big here. Unfortunately, this stone right here is a little too far away. What white can do is actually, at any time, sort of push through this wall, give black a little bit of a wall, but then cut this stone off from it. So black won't get this giant wall, black will get this tiny wall, and a stone that has no friends. And stones that have no friends are sad stones. Let's see how this plays out. And white will make a base. This move is a little strange, but it's all right, given this circumstance. White tries to play something that looks like a Joseki move. Now, if this stone, let me mark it, was not there, but was instead here, this would be the Joseki move, as this nicely links up all the stones together. However, here, there's this giant defect right here that I think you guys can all see. At any point, white can just say, hey, this stone and this stone aren't connected. And black doesn't really have a whole lot to say about it. In fact, if black wants to even fix this shape, pretty much requires giving up this stone. So this is kind of a sad little connection here that white should cut through and, make black pay for, make this move look silly. Unfortunately, white doesn't do that yet. So, hey, it's 4Q game. White does come over here. There's some things I really like about this move and some things I don't like about this move. We all know what black wanted, right? We all know that black wanted to make this giant wall here and make this big thing over here. And white, to a fair degree, is actually preventing that. When white normally approaches a corner, we're used to seeing this move. Except in this move, black is almost certainly going to pincer. And by pincering, white will have to decide what to do. If white just jumps in the corner like this, this is the Joseki that should have probably been played out down here. You can see that all these black stones are working really well together. This is just one giant ocean of black. And if white were to go sailing, white would have a hard time, finding any friends. So that's not a great result for black. So black doesn't really want to approach closely. Instead, or excuse me, white doesn't want to approach closely. White instead will approach that corner a little further away because white's hoping that black will like his corner points, and white will get to make a base right here in the middle of all this ocean of black stones, and that's a good result for white. However, black has other plans. Black will actually still pincer this stone and still try to make the outside black and really encourage white to go this way. Instead of this stone, I really think white should have just played something here or here. One of these two moves, and then just make a base directly. If black wants to attack this, that's fine. Just go make a base in the middle of black's ocean. If black wants to attack it this way, even better. We can make a base two ways. We can invite a fight, or we can just play solid and, again, just have a base in the middle of black's ocean. This is good enough for white. In fact, it's actually a very good result for white. Unfortunately, that's what neither player does. Black does this very loose pincer, and white attaches to the corner trying to make a base right here. In general, in Go, we try not to attach to weak stones. And in this case, we could argue that this stone is actually, relatively weak in the sense that it has no close allies. It has no close friends. So when we attach to it, notice that black has 3 liberties. Let me get out my little counter. All right, and we have also 3 liberties, 1, 2, 3. But it's black's move next, which means that in this contact fight, black's going to have an advantage. So we just avoid that, and that's a good rule to remember. Don't attach to your opponent's weak stones, and that's why. Black will just go for the corner. White plays actually a very nice move. I like this move a lot. Locally, in the global position, I'm not sure how I feel about it given this sea that is forming over here. But locally, this is a very good move because you're forcing black to make a choice. And it's a choice that black doesn't really want to have to make yet. So black's options. Black has a weakness here. Black could just fix the weakness. Black could cut this stone off and capture it, but then white will get the outside. And remember how black was just trying to make this giant black sea? Well, if white, here I'll just show you. If white is, whoops, wrong colors. Hey, black, white, there we go. If white is allowed to capture this stone in a ladder like this, it's even if black just plays a ladder breaker. This group just sort of ruins this whole part of the ocean. It's very strong. This white group is very resilient. So black has to try to make an ocean of points over here. But that can be hard to do, especially with this defect. So this is no good for black. In the game, black decides to Atari this way first. I can't say I recommend this move. This move actually doesn't get black a whole lot. Unless black is going to cut through this and force white into the corner, which he doesn't. He goes back and fixes anyway. Here, I'll show you the variation when white gets, when black cuts off, white and black cut off each other. Let's say that. Black has a problem here, right? 3 liberties on these stones, 3 liberties on the white stones. However, black can't short white another liberty because of this double Atari. So black has to make a choice. And if black comes back and fixes the shape, now it's 2 liberties to 3 liberties, and white wins. So this is not great in that case. If black wants to give up the corner, that's great too. Black can Atari this way and get these stones out. However, the problem here is that white gets a pretty sizable corner. Black can extend the sacrifice here. Is there a Tsuji here? There might be a Tsuji here. Have to check. How does this play out? This looks very Tsuji-ish. Yeah, looks like it's just dead, so maybe not. I don't think that Tsuji works, but that's a cool Tsuji if you guys ever see this shape. Sometimes that works. Not now, apparently, but sometimes. So I would have to play something more like this. Let black get out and continue the fight over here. This looks very bad for white, quite frankly. Let's see, is there a better result? Yeah, well, I guess white can just play that and just take the corner. Might be another result here I'm missing. But anyway, that's the other option. When black Ataris and then comes back and connects, this is it's okay, but we're ruining a lot of the Aji for us. In this position, I think it's better just to connect directly and force white to try to find a move that fixes white's own defects. Because you notice if white does this, black comes here and takes advantage of that weakness. And if white comes here, now black can play this and fight and take this outside, or just connect and force white to be low. Not that move, that move. And in this example, you can see that black's still getting that nice big black ocean of stones, while white stones are taking pretty minimal number of points. So let's go back and let's take a look. So white cuts here. This is a really interesting move. Black could try fighting like this. It looks really dangerous. It basically looks like black's actually just, black's okay, because black has this move. So white can't actually do that, huh? Again, I want to play that Tsuji. That's such a cool Tsuji when it works. Does it work here? Still not so much, huh? Alright. Well, I don't think white can fight here directly, or if white does, it's just going to be a result, something like that. But black gives up too easily, and white extends. And now this is actually looking pretty solid for white. There is some aji here, but black actually has a defect. The corner's still open. Black chooses to fix the defect. Again, the corner's still open. White can also get out. White's group is strong enough here in the middle of the black ocean to be pretty satisfied. So white comes down here and takes a big move. I think white is eyeing this spot right here and thinking, hey, I can cut that stone off and it won't have any place to run because I already have a stone there. So that's all right. Black's going to try to annoy this weak group over here. White's move here might be a little unnecessary. Yeah, I don't think that exchange really gets white anything. If white wants to do something, white should probably just take the corner. Or if white wants to come out, find a move that actually gets white out. Maybe something like that. Doing this, I think that's a bad exchange for white. So after black fixes, white decides that white's strong enough to just tanuki. This move feels a little strange to me. Feels like, I guess it's okay, but I guess it's not my style. I'd be a little timid to play this move here with black having played this move. Now that this wall is very strong, I would be much more careful about fighting over here. Looks like black's not going to fight anyway. Black's just going to take the corner, which is fair enough. This is black wanting to connect to this stone, make a nice little group here, give white these points. White says no. White's going to force black to live over here, which is actually a fine result for black. Black takes all these points. These were going to be white points before, and now they're black. This stone looks like it still has some aji. We'll see how it gets used. Oh, I guess it gets used immediately. Well, black really wants these points. I'm not sure if that's a good idea. While this looks big, how big is it really? Looks like it's, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe 25 points. 25 points, we'll say. So pretty big, but so are moves like this. And this is still very big and yet to be decided as well. So I guess we'll let it slide. This is a questionable move. I think it might be okay because white's worried about this aji stone, but this is normally an Atari you don't want to have to take if you don't have to. Because later on, let's say white is able to just connect like this. If white, let's say black plays a move, white ignores, white might decide white wants to play this instead. And black has pretty much no choice but to connect. and then white will get to play this, and black will want to descend, and then white can come out. Do you guys see what happens here? If we take a closer look at this, we see that, let me get rid of that box, this group is now kind of weak and actually in the middle of white stones. And furthermore, if these white stones get just a little bit stronger, they'll actually attack this group. So white just was able to split black. Now black still has some countermeasures here. I mean, it's maybe not as simple as I'm showing you guys. For instance, black can play this and cut, but it still looks pretty pretty dangerous for black, quite frankly. Perhaps even more dangerous this way, because now this group is really weak. Most likely going to die, kind of weak. But that's not what happened in the game. White just uses all that Aji right here, and that's why I don't like moves like this, where when I look at this, I see this nice big weakness. And if I can make use of this weakness, I can split black and give him no points, and perhaps even get a double attack on both sides. When we take this right away, we are essentially saying, here, black, have all these points. I would like just a little more help on this outside. It's probably not worth it. Furthermore, white goes on to extend. So white still has defects over here. They're kind of problematic. For instance, it looks like probably need another stone over here. But just to show you a sequence, there is this move that we have to be very careful about. If white responds here and here, we then have moves like this to attempt to save them. And if we are successful in terms of saving them, for instance, a move like this, well, now that becomes Sente, and white has to come back and connect. So this is I mean, I know I gave black basically an extra move here, but there's a lot of Aji that white has to be careful of. All right, so let's go back here, and we connect, and white extends. White's trying to make points here. Still a lot of defects, though, so not a lot of points here. There are points over here, but right here there's not a whole lot. This was actually a good result for black, at least locally, all because of this one Atari. Oh, that's my move. That's not the game. That's the game. This move is a little slow. I see what black's trying to do. Black's trying to maximize points here and reduce the potential of this. However, I think if you're going to play locally, you should play at least this. This is a little faster. White can't cut this. Right, just ladders and dies. So it gets out a little faster. And second, if we are going to play this, I don't want to feel like I'm pushing white from behind. You see this? If I just keep pushing here, it's like white is always ahead of me. So I want to find a move to make sure I don't feel like I'm pushing white and just giving white points. So that's a better local move. However, I don't even really like that move quite a bit. I would be much more encouraged to try to do something probably on the outside over here. I'm not exactly sure what at this point. It's hard because I also have this liability of this stone. I do want to get some points over here. I want to try to figure out a way to attack this so it's not immediately obvious right now. You know, it might even be just something as simple as this. Because if white doesn't do anything, let's say white comes over here now. Now this move becomes pretty severe. White has to do something pretty immediately with this group, and I can seal it in, essentially. Something like this. So white's alive, but you can see that first of all I was able to get the corner move and seal white in. And that's going to help me on any sort of invasion or any sort of reduction over here, because I now have friends I can run my stones to. As well as I also got these points. Let's go back. Alright, so let's see. Black pushed from behind, white extended again. And then white decided to try to seal in directly. This move seems a little premature to me. I'm not sure what black is trying to get. We already did this, so white already has an extra long stick here, sort of protruding, starting to make points. It seems to me that this is a little too little too late. If I were white, I would probably, well, it's a hard choice actually between running out and taking the corner. In this game, I would probably feel better if I took the corner first, but it seems like I can reduce while running and then come back and take the corner. Depends on how much I like these 3 stones and if I have any other friends. So I probably have to take the corner, and that's what white does. This is a silly move. This is just a good co-threat for later. Don't have any reason in the world to play this right now. But black does anyway, makes white define the shape. It's probably a net minus. This move is a little strange. I think what black is trying to do, I mean, it's an okay move. I mean, black's trying to just come up through here and reduce this, make sure this doesn't turn into anything for white. However, before I play a move like this, I'm probably more likely to play something like this if I'm worried about this area. Because this is actually, it's going to make white a lot more hard-pressed to decide what white wants here. You know, if white wants to take the corner, that's fine. And now I know, hey, this isn't going to be worth anything. This is all where white's points are going to be from. Maybe I can attach either side to reduce on this stone. That'll be fine. If I play this without this, well, now I feel like white can play something like this and threaten to make something really big here and still have potential over here because of this zone. So for me, this doesn't feel like the key point. I mean, it's points. It's a good local move. It's not like it's you know, costing you a whole lot of something, but I don't think it's the best move for reducing, or if assuming that's what black's thinking, for reducing this area. Oops, that's the game. White does respond, and black responds. White takes this Atari. I think that's fair. I don't see a whole lot of other Aji to do with this other than just Atari. And white still has Aji over here, so white's trying to just make himself a little stronger. And black connects, and white takes Sente. Hey, remember this little guy? Remember this move, how it made it so this guy had no friends to run through? Well, there's the cut. Let me get out my little pen here. If white is able to cut this off, there's some pretty big potential here for a lot of points. And granted, black does already have quite a few points. You know, black has some points here. Black definitely has some points in here. Black will most likely have some points here. You know, white should get something here, should get a little something here, but at least white has this big potential, and I like that. Big potential is happy. Let me turn those off. All right. So what does black do about it? Let's find out. Well, black decides black likes these points. Black's willing to give up this whole bottom for this. I think that's very risky, especially after white came back and made a life in the corner. So now you remember how my friend is a squirmer? You guys remember that from the very beginning of today's lecture? Well, we're about to see some of it, unfortunately. He played a very nice non-squirming game up until now, and I think he just got bored with all the normal nice positional moves and want to slither around the board. So this stone is kind of trash. This is a stone you don't really want to work with right now because it's surrounded by white strong groups. There's nothing easy to attack, and in fact, if we try to run this out, white will easily just build up a whole bunch of strength here and be able to wipe out all of these points and probably get something over here. So this is a big liability for black right now, especially after we play another move. Now this move by itself isn't that bad in the sense that, you know, it's not even connected to this stone. It has a little more room to run, but it's still encouraging white to attack this. And you never want to encourage your opponent to attack you unless you have a good plan. I very much doubt that my friend Bart here has a good plan. I don't see any good place for these stones to run to. I don't see any good white weak groups for this to attack on its way out. This is sort of fattening up the cow to be slaughtered before we run it out. White will poke at the shape, make sure, well, actually, white's really testing to see if black will connect here. Under no circumstance should black connect this. If black played this, I'd have a screaming fit right now. Just dead. Simple. So it's good that black doesn't connect, black knows that black's in danger, so black's just going to start the running process. Now again, I don't see where black is running to. If I look around the board, we have white, we have white, we have white, and we have white. The nearest black friend is all the way over here, maybe. And even then, if we tried to run there, this is just going to cut us off and then invade us. So this is exciting, I guess. That's a good word, right, to describe it? Exciting? Oh, white. This is a little mal-timed. White's worried that black will be able to make eyes, so white wants to prevent that. And at the same time, it takes a few points, but it's not big enough. You have to keep up the attack. Just something as simple as this will do just fine. So black gets this move. This is a big, big move. Whoever gets this is in control of this squirming group. White responds and submits on the third line, making far fewer points than white would have had white just taken this. Now that looks beefy. This one more looks much more sad. Black has a much clearer route to the outside, and white has fewer points. Now, black is still very attackable. I'm not saying black got a good result yet just because of this one move, but it definitely feels like if this survives, black did accomplish something. And black pushes again. White plays there. Black jumps out. Now notice how as black was running this group, black made, so far, 0 points. This is just a string of stones. White, on the other hand, actually started to turn this into some real points. So whenever you run a weak group, you're basically giving your opponent points. So don't run your weak groups if you can, and you avoid running them by making them strong, or not making them heavy and doing this. Alright, so white will take more points. Sounds reasonable. There still might be some Aji in here. This is a pretty huge corner, but we'll see. Oh, black takes advantage of it immediately. This is an interesting move. White thinks that's his corner, and black shouldn't get anything there. I don't know for certain. To me, a move like this looks a little more solid. This looks like Ko to me. Something like this would make a Ko. So I think the best black should get is a Ko. And if white wins the Ko, that's a lot of points. If black wins the Ko, again, it's just a huge Ko. So if it went that way, it would just really come down to Ko threats. When you play this, I'm not so sure. And black pushes and white blocks. I can't help but think that that's a wrong move. In any circumstance, even whether or not this can live or die, it's probably better to just play here. And if black tries to cut you, you just kill him. So black can't cut you. However, black can play moves like this, which forces you to connect on the outside, but black still has to come back and live. And is that alive? I think that's alive. Yeah. Yeah, looks alive. But I want you to notice something. If we take out the pen, and you notice this big, long string of white stones, this string of white stones got really strong. Everything's connected. It looks like white can make eyes pretty easily. White can even connect underneath if white needs to. This is very strong. And remember that group that black was so desperate to run out? Right here? Oh, maybe not. Oh, hey, where'd my cursor go? My color. I want my color. There we go. That's the group. You see how it's right next to a really strong white group of stones? This is even more of a liability now. It's even harder to make this live. So even though black was able to eat white's corner, that's a good result for black. Black still has issues. Let's go back to the game. That wasn't actually the game. That was my own fantasy of when white blocks here, just making sure black could be alive. I'm pretty sure black's alive this way, just because this move looks really powerful. Yep, white defends, black peeps. Anything black can do here? Yeah, white's got to connect. Yep, that's what white plays. Black pulls back. Well, white can cut this off in Sente. This doesn't work. Live. So white can play that. Black might have to play something like this. And even then there's some Aji in here. This is just crush. That's what they call it. But still Aji. So black's alive, but black gets shortened one more liberty. Black will die. Alright, back to the game. White looks at this nice little black weak group and keeps up the attack. Black's going to try to run into white's points. This is the squirmer, still trying to squirm around the board. And white will effectively block. There's some Aji here later, though. It's not too bad. Yeah, not too bad. But something else to keep in mind. When you block that way, there's going to be this peep right here. Oh, black is going to push. This stone is actually fairly weak, right? There's a cut here, there's some Aji here. Black needs to play a fast move effectively, probably something like this. And when we play this, we're just asking white to fix shape. Black's going to try to link up. Oh, that's a trouble move. Yeah. This is going to end in gote for black because when white plays this, this group is now in trouble. So white has to fix, or black has to fix. And now white will get an additional move to come over here and attack this group. And if you can still see, it's still surrounded by white friends and very few black friends. This move, it looks like it doesn't work. I'm pretty sure it doesn't. In fact, do you guys see why this doesn't work? I see what black's trying to do, or white's trying to do. White's trying to just corral this whole thing and capture the whole thing. But there's a problem here. Right there. There's you can split the uprights, essentially. So it's still a chase and a fight, but this move would probably be better had white played something just a little more conservative. Just keeping up the pressure, forcing black to run into white's friends. This is how you want to use your friends. You don't want to use your friends to make points right here, right? We noticed how few points there might be actually in the endgame, right? Because black has all this great endgame kind of stuff. Say black takes the outside, Atari, and then white actually has to capture this. So we can see that black can actually link up, and you know, white gets maybe 10 points after what, you know, black got an additional 5 or 6. So not a great gain for white. Of course, that's not even counting the Aji if it goes this way, and black's able to save it. But right now, black will never have a chance to save it as long as this group remains weak, because the second black tries to save anything over here, white's just going to come down like a hammer and capture this. So this one, I feel, is too far. You're giving black a chance to run out, and black, we know he already likes to squirm. So let's see what happens here. And there goes the squirming. Oh, yeah. Might have anything? Does this work at all? Yeah, that's interesting. It's very interesting. This might be something. Oh, what do they do in the game? White tries to peep first. Alright, well, if you play that, I think you have to play that immediately. Just to make sure black doesn't get the eye. But there are some cutting points that white has to be very mindful of. So when white comes back and tries to fix the shape, white's a little worried about this cutting point. It gives black another free move on the outside to squirm away. This is still not really alive. And in fact, let's see, what would I do here? Probably just something like this. Encourage black to keep running. Whatever you want to do, you just want to, don't let black get 2 eyes, just keep him running. And black will have to run something like this, but that's all right for you. Black will have to keep running, because eventually you're going to get to play fun moves like this. And this cut, these two stones with this cut right here. And this is a fun move, I have to say. So that's the idea. That's what you want to try to get. Try to, encourage black to just run over here to the friends, take some points over here, and then you can destroy black with the extra stones that you gained on the board. This is a problem. White has no business playing this move. This is a little... It looks weak. You're leaving this giant weakness right here. Whenever you leave a weakness, that means your opponent's going to get forcing moves. We already know black likes to squirm and run it on the board, so black will excel at finding your weaknesses, or at least taking advantage of them in one way or another. So black will just go there directly and basically force you to defend. Yep, okay. And black will connect. I suspect that this one is better, because that also still threatens a cut here. Even though white can cut this off, it's really not good for white to cut it off. And you can see that black's basically out safe and threatening to cut off another stone here. So this is the shape you want to look for. If white just pushes and cuts, that's fine too. You just capture a ladder. So this would be the nice shape. This shape, it doesn't really hurt white. White has the time and the tempo now to play something else. Maybe even that. Alright, so white will just mosey on in the slow way. I suspect that white would get a better result if white could do a little reading and find a little more drastic of a move. If white were to play something like this, and let's say black was going to try to cut it off, black might find that this wasn't such a great idea, because I'm not sure if you can tell yet. Maybe take this Atari first. Whoops, wrong misclick. I'm not sure if you can tell yet, but white is actually starting to re-surround this group again. By sacrificing a couple stones, white can get all these forcing moves on the outside, and this group is almost enclosed again. So you might try to do a little reading, sense your opponent's weak and find a way to take advantage of it, play a little deeper. This is a little too honest in certain ways. Black's just going to defend very honestly himself. White's just going to look for that cut. Black's just going to give it up. This is probably unnecessary at this point. This is a good co-threat later. Probably shouldn't waste it. And in fact, you probably don't even want to play that until you play this peep. Let's see what white does here. Of course, white could respond like that, and maybe there's nothing here. But get some other strength on the outside too. So anyway, this might not be it's almost definitely not a good move right now, and it might not even be a good move later either, because there's other Aji in here that black might want to use. And white just connects. Black honeys. Yeah. Okay, so white's just going to give up on this and try to take points. Okay. White will push through. This feels poorly timed. I think we have to Tanuki this as black. I think we just push here. White can't actually do anything down here because these will get captured. The best white can do is just reduce. So it's a fairly big reduction, but it keeps us really strong here. And if we get one more move, if white decides to take something else like this, we can take even more. So this is probably better than spending a move to defend this down here. I know it looks like the Hante proper move, but it's really not that great. In this case, black's strong enough to play something a little more threatening. And then when white gets this great move, white will now be able to reduce and keep up this attack. So black's obviously worried about this attack, so black's trying to stretch out to the weak group. This is almost never a good idea. And when you you know, you're bumping up against a strong, relatively strong group. You're encouraging white to push ahead of you, and you're pushing white into your weak group. I don't see how this can go well. Oh, white's going to feel a little cocky here. White's going to... I would probably be okay just taking that, because this is still looking really weak. Black has to keep pushing, in which case now we can Hane, and it looks like we're a little bit stronger and can just eat black here. If we Hane one move earlier, we're leaving a weakness that's not easy to defend. Remember this Aji? That's the Aji. That's how you take advantage of it. Not easy to know what to do here. If white just tries to swallow this, let's see, can black just throw a stone here and eat this stone? If white wants to save this stone, we now play this, and this is a cool sequence. Check this out. White has to defend down here. If white defends over here, very bad things happen. Black gets eaten over there. Although actually this probably isn't so bad because black still can get eaten. This might just be a giant exchange. But if the second black figures out that black needs to run, white's going to owe an extra move over here to do something. And black will have Sente, basically. So, well, anyway, that goes back to this cool sequence. Oops, not that one. If we run out here, black has a problem. Right, black has to defend over here and over here. Isn't that cool? If we go here, we can even play this first. Oh, this and this. Oh, dear, this is just painful for black. And it looks like we can just play... We have enough liberties to just play that and just kill this. Oh, we should take this Atari first. But isn't that cool? Black just eats all that. Yum. Black still owes a move down here, though. So black is... That's what's waiting for white in case white doesn't come back and fix the shape. And that's what happens when you Hane one move too early. That's why we need one more stone here. And now we can Hane. All this weakness is... just kind of goes away. If we do this... Well, it doesn't go away completely, but... It's actually pretty much... Yeah, pretty much settled. Yeah, there's still, well, there's still issues. Maybe it's not over. Still problems. Alright. Still think it's better Haning, or not, just doing that. That's the conclusion. Alright, so black cuts immediately. White Hanes, or Ataris that way. Black extends. Oh, this is when you... As scary as that stuff was, you have to make this as an exchange. Black can't play there, right? Just gets eaten. And if black runs out, you're happy to run out too. And you see this group is about to be captured again. So white has to run out. Or excuse me, black has to run out, but white can run out. Black has to run out, and now these just got captured. So this is an overplay. That's a big mistake. Luckily for black's opponent, black doesn't see that black can or white can exchange taking all this for just giving up a little bit in here. Black connects. That's a big move. White will reduce. Black just gives up the stone. Yep, good. Alright, black's just taking points. Just trying to take points. Yeah, this... all these points black thought black was going to get, black didn't actually get. Oh, what is this? This can't be right. Huh. Alright. What are they doing in the game? You played that way. Why not just taking? Black can't play that. Black connects. Yeah, there's nothing here. Black should have just taken this stone. This is just way too fancy. And white gets to save all that. And black's captured again. What? Oh. Yeah, if white connects here, this is all gonna die. Oh, that's a weak move. There's no eye down here. There's no eye down there. That's a bad move. Oh, just play something like that. Dead. Right, if white makes an eye there, makes it false. If black plays there, takes away the eye. If black tries to make an eye here, oh, does that do anything? Nope. How about this way? Oh, I see. That way. That way does it. Alright, that way lives. Well, if that lives, what if we just play that? That's only one eye, so all you have to do is just not let anything white over here die. And black's dead. Game over. So that's a really bad move. There's no eye down here. If black tries to make an eye, you just play that. And what are you doing? In fact, that might even be worse than having no eye, because this might die too. Alright. So white responded, white's a sucker. Yep, and that's the move. And there's the second eye. So black lives. That's scary, man. That's lucky. White will just try to take these points. The problem with taking these points is that there's still this, black can actually reduce quite a bit. Probably better to see if we can find a Sente move down here first or two before we come back and play something like this. But, alright, so that's just endgame. Peep. Oh, was this peep good? This peep feels like it might be bad because there's still this Hane here. So white might have to come back and fix, and then you can connect, and you don't even have to connect. Play something like this. Take points. That peep might not have helped. Okay. Black's really trying to use the Aji. Yeah, but it's all spent. That peep didn't help. Alright, let's try to connect. This was dumb. This is no good. Yeah, you want to save these stones. Just save them. You're not worried about this. It's points, but those are bigger. This is just... oops, what's the game? That's the game. Yeah, not big enough. I see. Alright. Ah, life and death. Alright. Who wants to do some life and death? I think I showed you guys this pattern earlier on in this review. Black to live. Well, let's try a few things first. Let's try C1. White obviously goes there. Black plays there. White plays there. Black can't connect. So black has to play this. Oh, that just lives? That just lives, huh? Yeah. Alright, so there you go. What did black plays this way? That should live too. Okay, white's going to do it the scary way. Nope, not the move. Alright, new problem. Black to live here. It's this throw-in. If white takes... well... actually, that's the thing. White just takes, huh? That'd make Ko. just ko. Alright, so that doesn't look very good. Can white even get a... No, not a true bent 4. Oh, not even ko. Not even ko. Ha ha ha. Alright, I need to do more life and death, is the moral of the story. So white takes... Black just comes here. There we go, crush. And if white connects instead, black takes, white throws in, black plays here, crush. White can't connect, shortage of liberties. 2 eyes. There you go. Knew that was alive. That's not the right move, though. That's bad. Well, that's also not the right move, so... Black can still live, huh? No, black's... Now it's a real ko. Black just connects, white comes here. Looks like a real ko. So white, I believe, should just play there. Oh, no, that's Seki. Never mind, never mind. White should have to play there. Okay. So if black throws in white here, looks like like that. Yeah, if we just connect, cool. In the game, when white plays there, black plays there, and that's no good. Because where's the next move? That's right, 1-1, everybody's favorite. This is a dead shape. You guys, especially those of you who are in double-digit queues, might not know this shape. This is actually called bent 4 in the corner. And it's a little bit complicated, especially towards the end of the game, but this, at least according to Japanese rules, is dead. It actually changes its status based on what rule set you're playing. But it should die in all rule sets, just how much... You know, it's just kind of how much you have to do before it dies. Japanese players would just say this is dead, you know, that's it. So the question is, why is it dead? Well, let's pretend that every other move on the board gets played out, all the endgame, because obviously black doesn't want to play here, because that'll just lead to death later. That'll short the eye space, and same thing here. So black can't play. White doesn't want to play there either, so it looks like Seki. But after all this is over, and all these liberties get filled in, and after every other, let's just assume we're playing Chinese rules, where we're counting territory, where we can remove all the co-threats. So, you know, everything that white can fix, white will just fix, and because we're playing Chinese rules, it doesn't cost us anything. So, when the game is over, white can play, let's just play a black move somewhere, white can play here, and black will take. But then white will play here, black wants to make a ko, and then white will play the ko. But here's the thing, because under Chinese rules, you can fix all of your weaknesses without costing you points, there shouldn't be any co-threats left, and therefore, this should die. Now, there are some special situations that I don't want to talk about, but in general, that's dead. Here's the problem. These two players don't know that that's dead, so they're going to keep playing it out. And they play just endgame. I think they're suspicious that that's dead at this point, but it's pretty clear by how they played next that they're not 100% sure about that. And they keep playing, and they keep playing, and they keep playing. And that's just negative a point. Right? Just filling in your own territory for no reason. And some more pushing. Yeah, that's... White should have probably not pushed here. Because that lets black seal off this and get quite a few more points rather than have white just do something like that. But that's small. Endgame stuff. And just push, 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 push. Oh, wait, am I missing stuff? Yeah, look at this. So down here, both these players don't really know what's going on down here. So white decides, hey, let's fight a ko. And this is actually ko in this case. This is not dead. All of black's liberties aren't filled in yet. So when black takes, white should play here, and black should play here. And now black can't crush this like we did in previous examples because that will get captured. So when white takes, it's actually ko. So white should never have played that move. That was a very dangerous move. It actually probably should have cost white the game. And more endgame. White just keeps taking this because, again, white doesn't know what to do. It's actually quite alright because white has enough points here to basically claim victory. Even with this endgame stuff, there's just not enough here. And let's just forward to the end. There you go. Let's look at the score estimate. The SE says white by 27.5. So that's the game. So I hope you've enjoyed this game commentary and review. My friend Bart, the squirmer, we saw him squirm, and it cost him quite a bit, right? Because in the end, white was able to solidify this, solidify this, solidify this, and not only solidify, actually capture it. You know, while black's territory over here is pretty sizable, it's not big enough. White has 3 big areas. So hope you've enjoyed this commentary. Please subscribe if you want to see more of these. Thanks.